Alright, we're across the water gate thingy. I did turn off the dyslexic font. It was making it harder for me to read, ironically. But I'm thinking that this is probably the cryptozoologist. These two, anyway. Hi.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this gem.
There's a cylinder on the ground, in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Gary the crypto-fascist. Morel the cryptozoologist. Alright.
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Morel, the cryptozoologist?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Hey, of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn waterlock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
Waterlock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Specifically him, huh?
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon.
He turns
If
to you.
you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind. For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him. I was looking for a suspect. Have you seen a woman with red hair who seemed to be on the run? I'm afraid not, officer. I've been busy digging around in the reeds for days, looking for signs of insect activity. I'm less interested in mammalian concerns, to be perfectly honest. The lieutenant takes a short note in his notebook, then gestures for you to proceed. It does seem pretty eager for you to return. And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you, but I can't leave until we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone. He looks south, where Lena would be. Come on, Morel, we've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back. And leave the traps? Absolutely not, he yells in response. I won't let Lena down. Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon. Won't let Lena down. Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow. I didn't know this phasmid was so important to her. Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers. Really? She sighted the phasmid? She didn't tell me that. Yeah. That's how we first came to know one another. In fact, well, that's her story to tell, not mine. He coughs, then continues. As do I. Needless to say, you must ask her about this mysterious phasmid. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now. Another cough into his fist this time. Maybe you could go back to the whirling, warm up, and come back to check the traps later? No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping at the hotel? He's dead set on this. I can go for some trap setting. Tell me about this phasmid. Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it. What makes it so difficult? Good question. Being a phasmid of the order of Phantasmodia, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. He looks around. Awful lot of reeds around here, ain't there? And, I suspect it may have developed other specialized techniques to protect itself from predators or scientists in our present case. So what sort of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself? It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding vision recognition, confusing the visual cortex. but I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen. Inland Empire, medium success. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid. How big is it? I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known... Ow. Species of why do I suddenly have to cough? Species of phasmid called the Megaphasius, so that is about the size of a grown man's forearm, so he leaves the conclusion up to you. Seems puny, to be honest. Thank you, physical instruments, you're always here to help. So what have you discovered about it so far? Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third hand accounts. Not yet. He holds up an index finger. That's what makes it a cryptid. Oh, so I say no, so no one's ever found one. I missed that. The lieutenant interjects. Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real? Oh. Kim. I know it's real, the cryptozoologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it. By which I mean, he says, gathering himself, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition. So Lena said there's been a sighting here in Martinez. Yeah, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez, specifically. It's the first credible sight in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore. So maybe it's died out? I have to resist the thought. He shakes his head vigorously. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis. Got it. Parthenosis. Parthenogenesis, meaning the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions. Pretty clever. Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch, but as a scientist, I try my best to remain dispassionate. So, tell me more about these traps of yours. Well, he points to a cage of mesh and wiring on the ground. They may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick. Lena made these? Or designed these? Yeah, he says with some pride. How do they work? Simple. Attracted by the locust, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can't get back out. At least that's the intention. Net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton. And what exactly are you using as bait? Oops. Let me ask you about something else. I don't care, it's a bug. Let's get it. Locusts, he gestures toward the trap. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course, but we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects. Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect. Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of an ambush behavior? Unlikely. A carnivorous stick insect? Seems unlikely. Thank you for your opinion. We also have included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism. And if they don't work? They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by our team, which used plants. We have given this some thought. The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear they know what they're doing. Something else. So what if we check the traps for you? I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. He looks at you with obvious surprise. Cryptozoology and the detective work are very similar. Chaos is my method. I am its scion. We're looking for someone hiding on this very coast. Looking for another thing may lead us to her. I like that one. Why not? The lieutenant shrugs. At least it will give us some excuse to go into a lot of reeds. That it will. The man cracks an unwieldy smile. That it absolutely will. I hope you brought your good boots. So, where are these traps? There are 4 in total. One's to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End to the northeast, behind a small sand dune. There on your way to the old radio tower after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed by a big concrete slab, big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, the trap. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still better safe than stupid. Than sorry. Better safe and stupid than sorry. Alright, I like that. So what do I do if I do find one? Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap's closed tight. And if I see it in the wild? That's highly unlikely, officer, but in the event you do, he takes out a small white spray can. I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. It will last about a week. Lay it on me. He douses you with the odd-smelling spray, then gives a satisfied nod. The lieutenant wrinkles his nose. I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses... Hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious, like holy water. That's a weird thing. Okay. It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research. He looks at the lieutenant with disdain and puts the spray back in his pocket. Okay, I'm ready. Let's get to it. Right. Which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling. Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance. Someone's talking sense. Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it. Ugh. If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. Inland Empire, easy success. What if the information is vital on the hunt? How'd you get into this field? Just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both. So... You're living the childhood dream. It's not child's play just because I have to trapeze through the mud every so often. Not what I meant, dude. It's like a good thing, man. Your inner kid is like, holy shit, I get to do what I want to do. That's cool as hell. Have you ever discovered a cryptid? No, very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid. How many have been found? Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoology Society of Chemnitz, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries, the rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection. 2. Yes. The Shahagan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Urad, who is honestly quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves, even more so than the public. Most cryptids are hoaxes, or they are never found. This does not mean we should stop searching. Then the Insulindian phasmid will be the third. Indeed, he does not smile, just looks you in the eye, and it's a forceful gaze. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Ravishal to Da Shantao, it will be a zoological miracle. He's done his math on this. There's no surprising him or swaying his opinion. Thanks for explaining that. Now, something else. I'll get going. What do you have to say?
Hello,
You crypto-fascist.
Very generous of you to help us out, officer.
Yeah.
Yellow man.
God,
I mean,
what?
Officer.
You? The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man? Interesting. This is something to ask him about after a little probing
I'm
first.
just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Yeah, I'm more of a city boy too.
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you've been tempted to drink.
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
Revacol? Revacol? It's not pronounced like alcohol, it's like shawl, isn't it? Isn't there a loading screen that says that? He pronounces Revacol. Rhetoric, easy success. He pronounces Ravishal with a hard K, unlike other people. Authority, medium success. Question time. This man is no innocent. No one is. You were surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not many Sealites here, or anywhere other than Seal. I meant no offense, truly. The lieutenant is a native of Ravishal. Oh yes, of course. I was just speaking about his connections. He flashes an impenetrable smile. Let's change the subject, okay? Said Ravachal. I like to pronounce it the hard way, the old way, the Vespertine way. He nods solemnly. He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's odd. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably. Is this your mug? Hold up the yellow man mug. My mug? Why would you think that? You said yellow man, it's not something many people go around saying. It seemed as if you were calling to it longingly when you cried yellow man. I can see you recognize it. It's in your eye. You look like the kind of guy who might have a collection of mugs like this. Home in his colonial mug collection. Seemed as if you were calling to it longingly. Oh no, that's... Why would I be calling to a broken mug? Still seems suspicious. Did I mention the mug was found at the scene of a crime? Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I knew I shouldn't have, and I'm very sorry, officer. You're not going to fine me, are you? I am for 20 real. I am for 100 real. I am for 250 real, the maximum. Let's not abuse power like that. Nah, Gary, I just want information. Oh, he's visibly relieved. Thank you, you won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn, Coach Co's price dumping us out of competition. What did you do, Gary? Nothing, just answering some questions, helping out the law. Here we go, start pumping that info. Hey Gary, did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged behind the whirling in rags, into that trash container? Officer, please, he raises both hands. Let me explain. It's not like that, do. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know. Okay, then what happened? Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. Put him in the whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. He changed his mind mid-sentence. Okay, I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too. Right, it was just a civic duty, the lieutenant remarks drolly. Exactly. That's exactly what it was, civic duty. As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another, as they roll across a hardwood floor. I've heard this sound before, but where? What was that noise? What sound? The clinking I heard when you moved. Really? He fans his arms out slowly, and this time his motions are soundless. There's a lot of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash, could be the weird wind shifting some garbage nearby. The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned. You wouldn't know anything about the missing armor, would you? Armor? No. He changes his mind. I mean, yeah, of course, I know he's wearing armor, but yeah, I don't know anything about it. How did you get into the trash container? I know a guy who works with trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez. Why would you need to get into everyone's trash? So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff, he says, bowing shamefully like a fallen knight. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Himayans run it like a mad. Sorry, okay, I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have disgraced it myself. Disgraced. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows and looks up. No need for the histrionics, sir. It was after all just a trash container. He studies his reaction. Gary does not answer. He's got a piece of armor I wanted. Let's let's move on for now. Hope I can help your investigation in my small way. Compose your legendary 14. Does this mean you were in his apartment room admiring his colonial mug collection? Perhaps it'd be interesting to tell him. So, Gary, you live nearby, in an apartment in Martinez? Sure do, officer. His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where you're going. Mr. Clare must be very angry with you. Mr. Everett. The color drains from his face. He insists that I open the door to your apartment. So you work for Claire. He realizes what's going on and changes his tone. Officer, please tell me we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him. What have I done? He'll send a muscle after me. The man looks around, wondering. Whispering, he makes sure no one hears. Really, I don't even know what it was about. I just opened the door. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he doesn't like you. Nod grimly. Our discussion on this topic is over, Gary. Of course. He looks around nervously. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you or the Union, just ask. Okay, I'll help if I can. It's scared him proper. He's melting from fear. He has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together. The weather vane has turned. The lieutenant remarks with a smirk. He cannot be unturned. He clearly liked his squirming. He may have even changed his mind about the whole door opening operation. I want to put a point in composure. Feels right. Keep your shit together. We are in keep shit together land. As weird as that sounds with everything that we've been through. It feels right. $72%. I want to wear armor. Come on. Got it. That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, just barely keeping that thing together. As if something's ready to rip out from underneath. Something warm beneath it. Yeah, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clinking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles. Stolen from the corpse in his yard, near where he lives. I see you're a connoisseur of high-quality combat gear. I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. He unbuttons his shirt. I was ashamed of what I did. I didn't want you to know. You see, gleaming white ceramic shine underneath a thin layer of interlocking plates covers his gaunt torso. The shape is surprisingly sincere. Sorry. Gary, what's going on? Later, Morale, I got apologizing to do. No, you've got explaining to do. The lieutenant's tone is icy. Give me that. Oh, I stole his shirt. Fuck yeah. He sighs again, hangs his head and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view, as soon as in your hand, smelling of his sweat. It's so light to hold, like a bag of cotton. So why'd you really put the clothes in the trash? Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching him do it. As they scattered his clothes all over the yard, everything was smelling. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They'll say he wasn't from here. Well, the cuirass left, so I stripped it off him. How'd you take off his shirt? How'd you take off his armored shirt? He was hanged. You couldn't lift it up. Does it button? That'd be weird. A ballistics vest that buttons? No one saw me take it, I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have. Your lips start quivering. Fuck. It is okay. The lieutenant jots down something in his notebook. It was a loose end, and you're tying it up now. So fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. See, light officers commanded a Caesarian navy. Most of them sided with the king when... Shakes his head. So why lie, Gary? Because I was weak, he says, staring at nothing in particular. I should have told you the moment I saw you, but... Yeah, hell, Gary, you in trouble. I'll explain later. He doesn't muster up the strength to yell. Are we done here, Gary? Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. He looks around relieved of some burden, his mouth still quivering. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word. Thank you for your cooperation. Oh. Oh. Causes an empathy hit? But I'm invincible. That said, I will not abide by an empathy hit. I like empathy too much. Had I decided on going with a specific character thing, because what we did with picking all threes everywhere was going with as blank a slate as possible, so that I could see the things that, like, were interesting, you know? Because if you go in with hard one, I don't imagine that you're actually going to see everything. Because most of it'll be something else, you know? Like if we were all physique, then these guys would be screaming at me the entire time. All psyche, these guys. All intellect, these guys. Even with like a mix of two, we'd never hear from whatever ones were smaller. So I do like that, even though this run is far from perfect, it lets us see everything in some capacity. Even if we do end up having a favorite. Also, me having buffed the fuck out Volition makes me happy. Willpower all the way. And Perception is my keyed one. Perception's useful as hell though. Like, no one ever. Okay, so he wants us to check his traps. And there's a dead body nearby that needs to... damn it. That does need to be dealt with some amount of haste. So they kind of look like that. I should probably see if I can bind that to a different key. Yeah, I know I'm late in the game for it, but... oh. Am I not allowed to change my key binding? No, I'm not. Huh. Shit. Oh, I can also highlight with right click. Well, that's a hell of a difference. Look around the trap. Fucking empty. Nothing in there. Big surprise, the lieutenant grins mirthlessly. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. It'll be in the next one, surely. Surely, he repeats and looks at the sea. Then at you putting the trap back on the ground. Anyway, the air is nice and fresh here. It is. Perception. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. Something definitely goes down here. Correct. The lieutenant examines the wall closely. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez. Grim affairs. Meaning this is a lot of them. He brushes the wall with his hand. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire, something you do not see these days. Why not? The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world. Bullet holes, bullet holes, bullet holes. 70%? Why not? Failure with a 2 and a 1. I'm dumb. Walk away. I can take as many volition hits as you want to give me. And I got enough to heal it too. There's no way the purpose in here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off has failed. I try to get in though? Not this time. The opposition's insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. Lonely and cold without points. And dangerous. Think she's in there? The suspect? God, I hope not. I cannot see a way in. Though many have tried. Nothing more to do here then. That's weirdly specific that they would do that, honestly. Idiot detective I may be, but I'm also part savant. So I feel like I may be returning to this building with that random bit of dialogue there. Try to find the rest of these traps and deal with the dead guy. I think that he's like up a bunch, right? Oh. Visual calculus. The light vanishes inside the concrete slit. The structure goes deep into the ground. What's in there? Maybe just a storm drain? Yell ho into the slit. There's an echo. Or there's no echo and no answer. Kim, any idea what's down there? No idea. He takes his glasses off to polish. Could be connected to one of the buildings around here. Think we might find Ruby down there? We might find her down somewhere. There is an old storm drain system beneath Martinez that's mostly collapsed. Revisional sewage system has been built and rebuilt 4 or 5 times now. He puts his glasses back on, and concludes then she could be under any building, but not there. He looks into the slit and sighs. I hope not. The phone that works, strangely. It's been just long enough that I don't remember the map. There we go. Working class corpse. A man lies on the boardwalk. His limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits, in his cramped hand a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body is slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg, the fall left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. Perception, smell, medium success. The smell's not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there. Hold on. The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is, he has been dead for 2 days, no longer. God, we've been playing this game for 2. Died the first day. He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket. We need to investigate. Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Careful. Just another day. Just another body. Breathe. Study the clothes. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with bright blue lining. I'll learn how to talk one day. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. Check his pockets. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand. Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done. Study the man himself. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk, and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair, one of his feet still dangling through the hole. You have to be electrochemistry. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well, over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine or 1.5 of spirits. Examine his face. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Visual calculus. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. 50 to 60 years old. Study the surroundings. There's some dried blood on the metal bench right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery, water in the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. Chewing gum wrapper clenched in his fist. Careful where you step here. Examine the man's head. A dry chunk of blood covers his hair at the back of his head, an open wound, sticky and cold. You do not see any other major wounds, do you? No, just this one. Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench. Step on the floorboards. They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was what caused the boardwalk to break. It looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. Examine the bottle. A 0.75 liter Trolala vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. Man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time. Tare all around us. He looks at two other bottles near the coin-operated viewer, then at your yellow plastic bag. Prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It is not proper. True. Chewing gum wrapper. Grabowski, spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. Look in. The blackness of death, stench. You think you see white chewing gum. Confirmed, nearly the whole pack is there, solidified on his lower rear teeth. He ate the whole pack, right? To cover the smell of alcohol before heading home. The worst thing is. The lieutenant shudders from the cold. I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum, it's always the same. Who is this guy? Looks like one of the locals. You'd have to know the spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that is a lazy assumption. What do you think? Electrochemistry. At least the guy knew how to party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that'd be just sad. Inland Empire. This is an omen. A sign from above. You need to stop drinking. It looks like me. I could have ended up just like him. Dead on some empty boardwalk with a bottle next to my corpse. What we're witnessing here is the demise of a great party beast. That leather jacket, an empty vodka bottle. Kiss your fingers. Looks like just another old drunkard to me. I think labeling him as an alcoholic is a bit premature. We don't know anything yet. We do know that he was married. The lieutenant points at the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and gray. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he is an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. So what should we do with him? From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. We found him. We should do this. Alright, we should first examine that library card we found. Then we can call the station for Makanima. Let them know we're taking the case. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. The wind is strong. A primer for small kids. Textbook on the first grade in primary school. Humanoid teddy bear is pushing a wheelbarrow full of letters. You hold in your hands the colorful primer. Title reads primer for small kids. There's a bear involved. Flip through the pages. Every page is one word designating one letter of the alphabet, with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows. Let's do it! A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamond. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamut. H is for homeboy. I is for icon. J is for Yura. Yura? Why would you give a J that then does the Y thing? K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. Jesus. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for Ariel. P is for Pelharian. Yeah. Q is for quasar. R for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for water height. X is for Xylophone. Y is for Yastava, and Z is for Zenith. Isn't that it? That's it, you know the alphabet now. Kim, I know the alphabet now. Good. I also know the alphabet. Put the book away. Filthy jacket. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. How'd this thing get so gross? It's sordid. Filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Think about it. It occurs to you you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather a thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit. Perception, smell, medium success. Smells like dead sea creature, tangled in gray strands of seaweed. Must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it here. Gross. Why'd you think about it? They're covered in muck. You flick your hands. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. Library card. The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the top. I feel like it says something that my freaking volition gets hit all the fucking time, and it's my highest stat. It's as it should be. I can take the hits. Because I keep getting them. Library card folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads Central Jamrock Public Library Card. Issued to Billy Jean, expires July 53. Look inside. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thrillers, Stand a Little Less Between Me and the Sun. The last one on the list is The Glinting Curve by M. DeBolt. A library stamp indicates the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre, some thrillers too. Look at the backside. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 00502555211. Or visit us at Merrose Street, 78 Jamrock. Business hours 9 AM to 8. I need to sneeze and it's not letting me do it. Sorry. Good. He takes a note. We should give them a call for my Kanima, see if we can learn anything about Billy Magine. Put it away. Nice snot sound at right the 40-minute mark. Fucking glorious. If you've made it this far, you understand I'm a human being. So it's okay. Alright then, let's check the rest of the traps and then make our way over to Kim's car. I have, however, totally forgotten where the rest of the traps are. Looking back from the rust-colored water, you. All that for a reflection. Did it even say one is to the south? I mean, there are reeds here, so it makes sense, right? Inside you hear the cozy sound of some kind of heater sputtering. Arashaka indeed. Encyclopedia, medium success. I'm not sure about the melody, but it might be South Sumerian. Possibly Sivarian.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Breton. Shows you got style. Necktie, what is wrong with you? My options here are we're cops, we're hellraisers, click click, bang bang. Or what he said, we're cops. We don't cause trouble, we take care of it. Of the two.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
What kind of an ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black Hound.
That's you, alright? Black Hound, licking your own heels. If I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone. Searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Long shot, but have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around the coast? Nah, I haven't seen anyone lately. Well, let us know if that changes. We're looking for a fugitive. Aye, officer, I certainly will. Where could someone stay around here? Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in this shack. Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. How much is it? I will not charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the Elysium. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police. A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. Well, if you're not in the hotel in the morning, I'll look here to find you. In a shack. He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? His environment encourages one thing and one thing only. Drinking. We've got this, Felicia. Finally, you've got those lamos of Martinez off your back. Ah, this looks like a great place to bring chicks. Horrific necktie. You are truly horrific. It feels as though you are also my brother. What's further down the coast? Not much, she replies and wipes her forehead. There's an abandoned church, the Lalorian Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time. Why is it abandoned? Some things just do not fly, officer. She smiles a gap-toothed smile and smells the air. Look around. Who would go to church here? They built it 300 years ago and must have been nicer then. So they do not hold services there anymore, the ecclesiarchs. No, they have tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It is a pity. It used to be such a nice church. She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking. Get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on? Well, there's that music from across the sea. It started a few days ago and now it's blasting even through the night. And now suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I do not like that. Okay, what else is down coast? Before you get to the church, there are some ruins, an apartment complex, some kind of electrical plant, a rundown bunch of houses, empty. Anything else? Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk, but it is closed. Alright, got it. As I said, it is a peninsula. There's no one here. Just ghosts and vagrants. And teenagers making out. Found this jacket, but it is absolutely filthy. Could I add it to your wash load? I can wash it for you, she says after looking the jacket over, but it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long? Hell yeah. No, we must run around ceaselessly. It'd be torture to stay put. I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day. I'll wait. Hand it over then, and I will see what I can do. I must say I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope it'll have an easier life in your hands. Tell me about yourself. No, me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking, and my married name is Sadie. Now it is your turn, mister. Lieutenant W. Frieder Harrier Dubois. Quite a handle you got there. So many titles, one of them double. I was asked to get your signature. I'm not doing that. I don't care. Goodbye. I'm off. Check out this house. Unlock the door. I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangement, but just so you know, after we're done with the day, I'll still be staying at the Whirling in Rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning. Woo, free housing. Warajev jacket. An old mirror hangs on the wall. See the reflection of your face in it. Still adorned with the expression. Leave it be. See the waves, the sea, the church. Wash basin. On the table you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin. Shaving the right call? I don't think so. The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red. Hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy. A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew. Disco is dead. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you used a small mirror and straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade shapes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. And the surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly. Feel your clean-shaven cheeks. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. Feeling of freshness overcomes you as if you just came from a bath. Was it the right call? The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. Creaky floorboards. Old science fiction magazines. Intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth. Loose floorboard. As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear one of them isn't quite level with the others. It looks scratched. Move it aside. The hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Let's grab our flashlight real quick. Nope. Peace. Actually, peace. So I can give myself more thoughts now. Jamais vu, derealization, lives at a crummy job, date of birth generator, jamrock shuffle. Anti-object task force. I feel like I gotta have that. I am a menace to anything nailed down. Or not nailed down. My abilities must reflect this. Oh shit. Element proof from pain threshold and half-light, or +1 empathy and hand-eye coordination. Ah, I'm afraid that the pinball thing has you. This looks better anyway. And this one just gives +1 to logic. Also really shows off that tie. So let's not. Am I wearing pants to take away from my reaction speed? But I understand there aren't exactly many options for pants for me right now. Guess that this doesn't do anything though. But what does it increase? Electrochemistry? Fuck that, I don't need that. We're very brown now. These are some wonderful irregular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party. I like regular things sometimes. I know, these interciliary pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this. A little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to be. Makes sense. This is what wearing boring office trousers does to you. Shut up, I'm the brown man. I forgot to pick up the fucking flashlight. Very easily distracted. Search through the sand and sawdust. Stick your hand and start culling through the sand. Dry, not like outside, fine dust and then something hard wrapped in paper. Small cylindrical object. You pull it out. Another bullet. 9mm. Interesting. Floorboard doesn't care, but maybe the washerwoman does? It's extra ammunition. He's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. Now. Kim is gonna be horrifically surprised.
Yes?
So, I shaved. Yes, Lieutenant stares at your shaven face. I do not know what to say. Perhaps... I know. Stunning, right? I'm really not sure about this turn of events. I may have preferred the mutton chops. They sort of seem to cover up the... He stops. Damage. Either way, good on you. You were saying? Nothing.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at...
Whatever reason it's there is hers. A wedding stone. Well worn, covered in rust. White curtains have been drawn shut. No looking in. Cinder blocks, charred, makeshift fire pit. Those three look down on their luck. Stop mid-step, and put your hand on the garish necklace. Necktie. A bottle, Bertrand, just look at the bottle. Where? What? In this drunk's hand. On the pipe there, glowing blue, a mysterious, otherworldly blue, filled to the brim with holy mysteries. Okay, cool. What next? Oh, I think this is about so much more than cool, dude. Please go talk to him. See what it's about. I'm drawn to it. I mean, if my necktie says so, how can I say no? Yoink.
Hey, tequila!
A 30-something man clad in a two-piece Lycra-TM tracksuit pins down his pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
Shake his hand.
So what's happening?
He picks up the beer. Wait, tequila?
Yeah, tequila sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Good, these people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later. I like this guy. You should too. He respects you by calling him your true name. Don't know, man. People are telling me I'm a cop, and I'm getting used to that.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker?
Thoughtfully picks at his shit-stained Licratium jacket.
Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Takes a sip from his beer. Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately? Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys. It's a trophy topic. Touchy topic. He hasn't gotten laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, Saya. What do you guys do around here? Saving the world. He looks to his comrades. Please, please, don't call, begs the man in the pipe. His name is Don't Call Abigail. He just says don't call Abigail. Okay, we're drinking alcohol, that's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a while ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower, but it did not work out. So now it's a pirate's life for me. Seeing you. You too, Tequila Sunset. So these are the guys that we hung out with whenever it was off our shit time. Grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition and turns his head away. The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
Who is Abigail?
Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
Why shouldn't I? He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer. Lean in. His breath smells harsh like a toxic swamp as he whispers to you. Don't call Abigail. Don't call her. Waves his hand as he's shooing you away. Right. Walk away. Don't call Abigail.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Spreads his arms as if wanting to embrace you. What are you talking about?
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
See, there it is, Brutaska. Feel your necktie strangle you with excitement. The spirit. Let's do it. 300 real is a lot, but this needs to be done. It's our end game. This is the mystery and the truth, and I need to buy that spirit. Exactly, man. This is no ordinary drink. This is what our relationship has been building towards all these years, man. This is the climax. The mystery. The virginal sigh. That thing's special, man. You have to buy it from him. Get him off him, kill him if you have to. Our ultimate fate depends on it. The fate of many worlds. The lieutenant looks at you, looking at the bottle of spirits and at Rosemary suspiciously. Why does this bottle of spirits cost 300 real? Say, friend. He brings out a 1 liter bottle of bluish liquid. The mouth's corked shut. It's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture. Let him speak. It's funny, actually. He bursts out laughing, then takes 3 gulps of his pilsner and stares at you intently. It's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze. What is it? What? What do you mean, what? What did you think was funny earlier? This guy. This guy next to me. This guy, he says and shakes his index finger at you. Where'd you get it from? Oh, this is medicinal spirits. It's good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office. He ain't shitting you. Medicinal spirits are a blast, Breton. The flaming truth out of this joke of a world. I got one of those scientific ampules a few months back. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink. He spits a nasty yellow clot on the ground before you. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. His voice rings with pride. 5 lemons and a half pack of butter and you're good to go. Good tip, I should remember it. Well, it really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidney started giving me all kinds of hell. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office, not a charity, the real thing. Those assholes. It's visibly angry. They charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing, and I came out on top after all. Assholes. But the idiots left me alone in there. Now I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead thingies. Gets an excited gleam in his eyes. Swipe 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila! What's left of this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol. I see. 2 I've already sold to these fine gentlemen here. This last one is yours for 3 real if you want it. Don't say it. Can I think this will prove useful. 3 real and it's yours. Deal of a lifetime. Well done. Here you go. Hands you the bottle. Just make sure you enjoy that one, friend. But John, I am so proud of you. Now, whatever you do, do not drink it. This deserves so much more than just regular oral consumption. The tie is so on the money there, man. Up the bum it goes. I don't want to put it up my bum. Who said anything about putting it up there? I could put it a way more special place. So special. Just hang on to it, keep it safe, wait for my sign. Soon the time will come. Have patience, brave one. Interesting. I'm off. I do not need to buy drugs from the locals. Nor do I need to buy alcohol from the locals other than this alcohol that my tie wanted. Don't question me. My tie desires things. I must feed it. It is way. Money. Cranks creak, but the planks creak beneath your weight. Ladder leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp.
I'll just
hey Joyce.
order Leachy in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
Joyce, you could have boated me over here like 2 days ago.
Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, detectives. It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
How do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze toward the village, slush melting on the cinder blocks, construction work half finished 10 years ago. Water drips down eaves of eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. Smell of salt and dog shits in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name, all the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull gray metal rests in her scabbard. Sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head. You're right to be scared. This is all your fault. No, it's not. You're in no danger. The working class have no idea what's happening to them. Try not to be scared. This is just how the real city looks. Place is doomed either way. Say nothing. This is just how the real city looks. I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never... He leans against the railing, looking up at the gray sky. Have I told you how they discovered this place? This island? No, the Insulindian Insula. No, you haven't told me how they found it. Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate around here is about 45%. 50 years of occupation have left these people with an oblivion of poverty. Say nothing. 'Tis a pity. Most of these people will never know what this place means. This island of matter. Or why they were ferried over here in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. She corrects the scarf around her neck. For now, how can I assist you in this new location? Well, it was good running into you. Godspeed, detectives. Thank you, ma'am. You keep an eye on your boat. Actually, I found my, fucking thing.
Good. What can I help you with?
About my missing badge. I found my badge. Did you? Wonderful. She inspects the piece of blue plastic, the faded green pearls of her eyes scanning left to right. Quickly, methodically, like an electric printing machine. She hands it back to you. It's a relief to see a double you've freed her here. The situation is precarious to say the least. It needs a quick solution or we will have a bloodbath on our hands. I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor. As an insurance measure, they called it my security detail. Have you need of a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They're meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering. Who are they, exactly? Colonel. On our RNG's military company. As far as I know, 3 men arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is one of them, the colonel, I do not know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed one of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling rags and lynched last Sunday night. What then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 criminal contractors carry out their orders for now. For now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. That's not great. That's... boy oh boy, is that not good. My only hope is that yours provides a single concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pit theirs, simply put. She leans against the wooden planks. If you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond. They would have to project strength and power. The Debaudiers have over 2,000 men. It'll be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It is not pretty. I don't care about bees. I care about bees, I don't care about hornets. They're bad. And hornets kill bees, which make hornet bad. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics fire every 1 or 2 minutes. She's silent for a moment, then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. Confrontation may be inevitable. Doesn't have to be like this. Lieutenant Double Frieder Dubois. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, a good one, and I may be able to defuse the situation. This colonel, the one that was hanged, did you know him? If you mean did I see him alive, yes, but I didn't know him. His name was Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name, only one of them did. A bad sign if ever there was one. And the others? One is a man, Cordy, they call him, a nickname as well. The other woman, Phyllis DePaul. Cordy is the gunner, I believe, DePaul radio operator. The lieutenant cuts in. What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's? She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head. I can't remember. There's a pang of regret into her voice. That is alright. Ma'am, anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age? He was 40 or 50. Hard to say. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw, made it difficult to estimate or gauge his facial expression. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on Sabadi, and Kalasia also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent? He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, mixed accent, RNGs or Mezzaninian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak. Rue it. Though, the injury... She nods. That's all I guess. I only met him once. And these other two mercs, where are they? They've gone to ground. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're likely to be armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens militia as I do. Put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. Vigilantes, you're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. Where are these mercenaries? 72%? Yay. One is obviously the scab leader, at the harbor gate, the one chanting the idiotic slogans, barely maintaining the disguise. One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader. That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. For all your talk of us averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union? Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. I had another question. You said the deceased assaulted a woman? Or he didn't. This information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around. I cannot testify to it. What did they say? That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know? Last Sunday night. At the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotic. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman, sometime after a group of dock workers got their hands on him. I know the woman you're talking about. We have it under control. Good. You've made progress. It's imperative that you move fast. This tribunal will not be patient. How much time do you believe we have? Till the execution start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. They don't report their progress back to you? Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There is brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. It's a matter of days, not weeks. You said contain the situation? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. And you're sharing, ma'am. This is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as that may be. And this Criminal specifically? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients. St. Baist, Welshman, Lawrence, and John, a warning sign. However, the operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions, blah blah blah. Meaning they are used to operating in war zones. Yeah. All the good conflict corridors. Supermandi, Yeshit, the Simonesian Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting to atrocious military conduct under Sorrow. Anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though, she thinks. The International Collaboration Police is charged with coordinating law enforcement activities in complex multinational investigations. You know a lot about the inner workings of RCM and the ICP, ma'am. In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Krennel. Could you contact the company, tell them to call it off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. That's enough for now. Now, can you tell me about these tattoos? Of course. Excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand. For about half a minute, in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured like those of a working woman. It was taken with a triage not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. Stay quiet. Observe her expression. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo surface. What do you think? Sorry, she breaks her concentration. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points and the stars. She points to one on the paper. I can't, but that's how you read the story. She points. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, or anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent, like blooms in a pattern. Close. Port cities. This is an RNG's map of the waterways, the sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the DeLorean century. Over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. Who could tell us more? His platoon members, maybe? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. It's not a good idea. You are correct. Now they're gonna go start shooting people. I'm relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come as a matter of... should come before public security. That's all for that. Thanks for your help. Is there anything else I can help you with? That's all for now. I don't need a reality rundown. Having additional knowledge tossed at me isn't going to help when there's actual things that need done. What about you, sword lady?
Hi, officer.
A woman in a raincoat stands on the quay, considering an overturned boat. Sword and scabbard hangs from her hip.
Anything I can help you with?
It depends. Where are we?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium.
Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
The wind rattles her earrings. What's your name?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
You're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. It helps to break the ice. Nice sword. Does it come with a story? Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. It is imposing, not. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe, nothing fancy, just for intimidation. Why do you need intimidation tactics? From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eye of many men, and believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. Can I borrow? No, I'm afraid not. Her eyes are smiling as her hand moves to the hilt, attempting to confiscate the blade. I used to keep these animals... attempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check? You would put me in an early grave. So, where are all the men now? Some went to patch their wounds, lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them I ended up marrying. So where is he? Gone. Where? To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. That's bad. What happened? Who knows? Maybe he fell over. She shrugs. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there drunk like a skunk, and sure enough one day the boat was found floating empty. A bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that this was 4 years ago and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Yeah man, death is nothing, I shit on it. You should have thrown yourselves in the waves after him. No. Time really is the best cure for sorrow, isn't it? Hopefully to let go and move on, gotta keep the wheels spinning. None of these. But let's just agree that time cures everything. Us working folk that had the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. She crosses her arms. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids. She glances at the village where 2 little kids are playing with what look like rocks. This is neither a touching nor very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another better drunk. Ask her, both of you could use some action. Kim's presence makes it awkward. Don't know a good spot yet, explore the coast. Very low, 3% chance. Be seeing you. Where are these traps at? I should have been paying attention when they said where they were. I don't want to go that way. Box. Plastic bottle. Hey, a trap. A canal trap. A familiar apparatus lies among the reeds. Another one of Morel's traps, right down by stones. Look around. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. A constant distant song. Louder on this part of on the coast. Nearer somehow. There's that cold again. Always the cold. Reach for the trap. It's got locusts, no sign of any cryptozoological beast inside. Another empty trap. Aye. Let's keep going. The next one's the lucky one. Yep, the next one has a crab trapped in it. These are just crab traps, you do realize. I mean, crabs are pretty cool. Oh. Seems the walker was either very confused or drunk out of his mind. Footprints in the soil. Probably Harry's. Given that they come from his car. I think that the other one's north of the church, right? There's only the 3. And then back to the one that Morel set up. And then we return to Lena. And she can be like, ah, you found him. A drawbridge that can only be lowered from the other side. Interesting. That looks scary. Must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Pastel, someone's trying to bring cheer to the world. Trash. Pole keeping the tent erect. tribalistic markings. A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow. Push it over. I need it. We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here. Yeah. Talking takes time, of which we only have so much. And I need to try to stop people from killing each other, which is kind of literally my job. See that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? No one comes to mind. You and the seagull are just alike. Why? Think about it, man. The seagull's story, one of endurance and adaptation. Seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise. Then their paradise became shit city, and what did they do? Became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeons. No time for that sentimental bullshit here. They are hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you. I'm not like that. I'm still romantic. Yeah, maybe on the inside, but outside it's a tough world. You gotta do whatever it takes to survive, and you do. Question is, will you admit that to yourself? Well, let me reconsider. I guess I am a bit like the seagull. Exactly. Seagull does what it takes. Exactly. The seagull does what it takes, and so do you. You got the same spirit in you. When the time comes, you'll push yourself. Thanks, endurance. For being strangely kind. Past the church, I think. Big rock. With money. Rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The building before you housed the engine. Must have been a big one. Chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in quite a long while. You see a handle. What is this thing anyway? It is a military service depot of some kind. Used to service what? Probably something that is no longer here. The lieutenant looks at the hunching concrete toad in front of him. Could this structure have been used to take the shot? And from here to the Whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way. Try to open with a 3%, because that's a 20 check. And we can roll a max of 12. So we need a plus 9 for it not to be a crit requirement. Whatever, door. Barrel's been recently discarded. Still smells of fuel oil. Up past here, right over here. Look around, reeds. Nothing but locusts. No cryptozoological monstrosity. Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done. Bummer it wasn't in here. I'm just glad we haven't found some poor cat trapped in one of these. That would be bad. Cannot leave the cat to the elements. Cigarette butts. Someone's made a campfire here long ago. A rusted broken control box for the radio relay tower. Ladder's too rusty to climb. Relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Barely. There's something here that would indicate a sniper used this place. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, bottle and a dilapidated old comms tower. In the distance, you can hear the breakers roar. I don't see it, Lieutenant W. Freether. I don't see a person takes a shot here and hits someone there. Go over the water to the whirling in rags. There, 1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, blue from the distance in the air, you see the smallest rectangle, barely visible. A glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you might see a young woman's shape move behind the glass, her limbs long and slender. Maybe they climbed the Tom's Tower? Not possible to climb that ladder, and even if it were, why? There's no platform from there to aim. It does look really rickety. Maybe the campfire. To warm his hands before pulling the trigger? Perhaps, but anyone could have made this. The coast is specked with fires for this time of year. Truthfully, it seems like a very poor choice to take a 1.2 kilometer rifle shot from here. Visibility is awful and there's water vapor everywhere. I think we can roll out B double prime, was it? Scented scarf. Interesting. Tiny inlets here, off in the far distance where the posts trail toward. And then let's return to the first trap. Oh, white polo shirt. +1 rhetoric and -1 empathy. Why's it gotta take away from you empathy, man? Empathy is good. It's like the best. $13.55, so it's around 2. Trap morale. This is the last one. It's good the cryptozoologist left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay night after night. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out. You feel strange. Trap? Feels light and silent. As you pick it up, something's different. No locusts. No phasmid either, but still. Look closer still. The lieutenant studies the trap with you. Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in there. I just see an empty trap. The netting's a little untidy, messier than the others. Looks like someone or something picked up the net trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground. Actually, I do get the feeling that someone or something may have messed with it. He purses his lips. Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist? Or someone else is sabotaging them? I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I am not. What if it was the phasmid? Right, it does not look like he thinks you're right anyway. Anyway, that's for the cryptozoologist to figure out now. We're not cryptozoologists, by the way. We're cops. A cold gust of air dries your sweaty face, and you look to the dark shadow of the Feld building in the distance, drawing you to it. What a strange sensation. Once this is done, should you try to ask again? Alright. Let's get back to the whirling. As a matter of fact, given that this is at like, what, 140 now? Go ahead and make the cut here. Pick it up next time at the whirling, so that way I can also fast travel all this running I'm having to do.